Hey everyone, it's Marcello here from the Toyota World YouTube channel, and I'm at Maple Toyota with a beautiful, brand new, very popular SUV, very popular combination here. This is the 2023 Toyota Highlander Platinum, non-hybrid, and of course, not the Grand. But in this video, we're gonna take a look at what makes the non-Grand Highlander Platinum so special and unique, and what are some similarities and differences between the non-Grand and the Grand Highlander Platinum for 2024. All right, so here it is, guys. This is the beloved, and I say beloved because, like I just mentioned earlier, this color combination, the pearl white with the glazed caramel, is one of the hottest color combinations that you can get when it comes to aesthetics and demand for 2023 here. We all know that, yes, you are looking at a larger size when you compare this over, let's say, the Grand Highlander Platinum. The Grand Highlander does have about 165 millimeters more length to it, as well as about 60 millimeters more width than the non-Grand Highlander. And it is also about 50 millimeters higher than this beautiful, look at that interior, wow, than this beautiful SUV. So more space all around, but let's talk about features. Now, on a side note, I do want to mention we do have some changes coming for the 2024 non-Grand Toyota Highlander. We've got a new package, or a new model, I should say, that's coming down the pipe. We've got some standard equipment changes as well to a couple of the models. We're not going to proceed much further than that right now, but we will talk about that in future videos ahead. So stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Let's carry on with this Platinum 2023. For starters, both the Grand Highlander and the non-Grand Highlander Platinum have their own unique alloy wheel. Quite similar, but not quite. This is a beautifully styled 20-inch alloy wheel. Now, you do have similar interior features as well, like the heated and ventilated perforated front seats. You also do have on both a heads-up display unit, but here's the thing. When you're going with the Grand Highlander Platinum, you actually have heated and ventilated middle row seats as well. When you're going with this vehicle here, this SUV, the rear seats here are actually only heated, not heated and ventilated. Both SUVs do also give you the panoramic moonroof. Now, one more thing when you're referring to similarities between the Grand and non-Grand is the layout and the design of the interior seats. It is quite similar, if not nearly identical, to the Grand versus the non-Grand. The only difference really is that pops is the Grand Highlander has some suede accents throughout the interior seating, which adds a lot of luxury and a lot of, a different feel to the overall interior. Now, on the Grand Highlander Platinum, you can get that lovely portobello interior, but I gotta say, I've seen the portobello in person. Yes, it's beautiful, but this glazed caramel, I'm afraid, you can't touch this interior when it comes to Toyota interiors, especially diving in to the interior here. I mean, look at how that glazed caramel really pops and stands out throughout the entire interior. It's just something that, makes you really enjoy being on the interior of this SUV. And yes, we are going to talk about pricing and what's going on under the hood when comparing the two in just a second, but let's head over to the back. So when you're going with this non-Grand Highlander in the hybrid equivalent, you've got a towing capacity of pretty much 3,500 pounds. It's rated at 3,501 for some reason. But when you're going with the Grand Highlander Platinum, you actually have a towing capacity rating of 5,000 pounds. All right, starting up this bad boy, and yes, this is not the hybrid version, but still feature-wise, it's pretty identical to the non-hybrid 23 Highlander Platinum. You've got two 12.3-inch screens. One is this lovely multi-information display system here, which houses your RPM gauge and your speedometer. And then over to the right, you've got another 12.3-inch touch screen here, which houses your latest multimedia with the wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, cloud-based navigation, and more. And of course, they do both have the power memory seats here for the driver, and as well as the JBL sound system. And when you're going over to the rear view mirror, they are both auto dimming with this lovely feature here that everybody loves. This is the digital display rear view mirror. Just with the toggle of this little switch here, activates and deactivates that feature. So you have a 100% clear and unobstructed view of what's going on behind your vehicle as you're driving. And that's not all. That's right, they are both also equipped with this 360-degree multi-terrain view monitor that basically gives you a clear and unobstructed view of what's going on around your vehicle. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, let's talk about what's happening underneath the hood. So yes, this is the non-hybrid version of the Highlander Platinum. So it's got a 2.4-liter four-cylinder turbo engine, but when you're going with the hybrid equivalent, you get a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine hooked up to an eCVT transmission, giving you about 243 horsepower. Now, when it comes to fuel consumption on the hybrid version of this puppy in front of us, you get about 6.7 liters per 100 kilometers combined city and highway, and that translates to about 42 miles per gallon. But what about with the hybrid Grand Highlander Platinum? What does it look like under the hood for that? Well, under the Grand Highlander Platinum, and that's probably why a lot of customers and viewers would opt for the Grand version of this Highlander SUV. It's because it gives you the 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine, but it bumps you up to 362 horsepower and 400 pound-foot of torque. Wow. Now, mind you, the Grand Highlander, as we mentioned previously, is a larger SUV, so the fuel consumption will be slightly worse at about 7 liters per 100 kilometers combined city and highway, translates to about 40 miles per gallon. All right, so another reason why you may or may not go for the Grand equivalent of this Toyota Highlander is because of pricing. So the hybrid version of this SUV comes in at an MSRP of about $58,260 Canadian, plus your freight PDI, fees, and taxes. Now, what do we have to say about the Grand version of this Highlander? At $65,450 Canadian MSRP, you're looking at a difference of just over $7,100 Canadian plus taxes between the Highlander Platinum non-Grand and the Grand Highlander Platinum. So what would you do? Another cool thing I want to mention about the Grand equivalent of this Toyota Highlander is that it does come with the digital key system or setup, and it also comes with a cool feature. So on this SUV and a lot of Toyota vehicles, you have what's called a rear cross traffic alert system. So when you have the vehicle going in reverse, it will beep and notify you of anything coming or approaching towards the back of the vehicle. So you actually have the same thing on the Grand Highlander Platinum, but you also have it in the front, and that's called a front traffic alert system, which is pretty neat. And of course, when it comes to trunk space, you can't really compare much. You do have quite a bit more space on the Grand Highlander equivalent, with a lot of the space from that 165 millimeter length difference happening in the middle, third row, and trunk cargo area. When you have the seating upwards in the non-Grand Toyota Highlander, you are left with just enough space here to fit some cargo or groceries and whatnot, but that space does get quite larger when you're talking about the Grand Highlander. And here you are for the rear third row seat setup. It's doable, but if you're going to be using your third row quite often, you're going to want to probably look at the Grand version of this vehicle. All right, everyone, there it is. I've identified some key differences and similarities between the Grand Highlander Platinum and the non-Grand. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you doing the Grand Highlander? Are you doing the non-Grand, the Limited, the Platinum? Let me know. We'll catch you on the next video. Take care.